Well, hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. It's official. I'm positive too, so I'm going to be here for 2 whole weeks before I go back to work. What's that? Oh, that's a really long drill bit. Okay. I'm looking for solder because we need to fix the radiator on 300, right? I might need to remember some of this stuff for later anyway. Yeah, I guess this is all I got. So anyway, that should be way more than enough. Bring us up to date on what I've done so far. I remember we had a leak underneath of the upper radiator hose. And there was a little bit of a hairline crack that I could see. Well, if you look, it's right there. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you all this, but anyway, we pulled the radiator, obviously, and I don't know. Anyway, there is a gap along this seam right here underneath of that neck on the radiator. So that's that. Anyway, we got to take the well, we got to heat it up and solder it, right? Not a huge ordeal, other than whoever did it last time probably did not take it off the tractor to do it, so now we get to do it again. At least this way I'll be able to see what's going on. I thought I had flux, but I guess maybe I must have run out. Anyway, get it hot enough, we don't need flux, so it'll be all right. And of course I broke my camera thingy again, so I need to order another one of them. Anyway, I was going to try and set up and show you guys soldering this, but try and find something I can set the camera on while I do it. But anyway, some things are easier said than done, right? Now I'm getting to have some cold symptoms, I guess you could say. Not anything too bad. Stuffy nose, stuffy runny nose, that's about it. A little bit of a cough here and there. The one thing that does, if my wife hadn't tested positive, I'd have never known this was going on, because this past Saturday I went and bush hogged for a neighbor over at the farm, and I would have just attributed it to allergies. So anyway, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna get this done and then we'll worry about other stuff here in a minute. Anyway, maybe this will work. Yeah, that should work. If I get my hands off of it, it'll work. There. So anyway, when you're soldering something, always heat it from the side opposite what you want to solder. So like you're soldering a pipe or something, heat it from the bottom and drip the solder on the top, and then it'll draw in and everything will be happy. So since I've already liquefied the solder here, we should be good to go ahead and add some more to it, right? Now, as far as that goes, we might not even really need any solder. We just might not really even need any solder, because look at the goop gobs of solder that we got here already. Good Lord Almighty. Anyway, let's see. That is ridiculous. Anyway. I may have made this way worse, but we're going to try it and see what happens here. Kind of be helpful if I knew where the original hole was, but I don't. So anyway, I got this. I haven't even gotten it hot enough to really melt the solder that I have yet, and I've already liquefied all of that. So yeah, it would help tremendously to know where the original hole was. But anyway, it looks to be like this is all one big blob of solder all the way up and around that thing. So we may well have to turn this over to a professional. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, this is definitely not my most beautiful soldering job ever, but it's soldered. So next up, since I found that 2 5/16 ball, we'll block that hole, and then this, I think it's a 22, or no, it's a 20, a number 20 JIC plug. We'll plug that hole off. We're going to fill it up with water sitting here on the bench and see what happens. Do we need to put in more solder, or are we good? Let me get some water and we'll find out. Well, I'm going to say, judging by the looks of this and the fact that I haven't put more than a quart or so in there, the answer is no, we don't have it fixed. Screwdriver, and I don't think this is going to do anything, but we're going to try it anyway real quick, because I think I had that pretty tight. Yep, I had that pretty tight, and still nothing. So yay. Okay, so now we need to try again. It would appear to be right in the center though, so maybe that'll help track it down some. Okay, so we're back down here. I don't really know which way to go with this, because if we go too much here, then we're going to have to solder the neck back on, and if we go too much over there, then who knows what we're going to have to do. As I said earlier, it might be time to turn it over to a professional, but then again, I don't know where any of those kind of people are anymore. Anyway, try and heat it up and get some of the old stuff pulled out, and then try and refill it with new, maybe. I don't know what else to do. Okay, so I think anyway, we've got the tank seam here. I was able to take this little screwdriver and go down in here and dig out and dig out and dig out, and I brought up, I don't know, in a section about from here to here, there was a whole bunch of black. I don't even know what it was. It was black in color. If you hit it with a torch, it would turn to liquid. Okay, so not real sure what it was, but either way, it was nasty, and it was not allowing me to get a good seal on my, or let the solder do its job, I guess you could say. I don't know if it was paint that was left in there when somebody did a previous repair. If you had enough flux, I guess you might be able to get away with that. But anyway, we've done some damage around the neck here. We're going to have to fill in, and then we will go from there. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool enough now. I can probably lay it down and do that. This solder, what I do with it, that I have is just general repair solder, general purpose repair solder. It runs off pretty bad, so you gotta either have the temperature just right or have it laying pretty flat where you want it to work at. So anyway, we need to fill in this around here again. Just one quick little bead around there, and then we'll let it cool and put water in it and see what happens. Okay, so here we have it. The neck is soldered back on, or at least the gap is filled in anyway. I'm gonna go in and drink some juice or something and let it cool. We'll try more water here in a bit and see what we got or not. Okay, so here we go. So far, so good. Let's get some more. I need to quit spilling it through that hole up there. So we make sure we're not leaking over here someplace. But anyway. And of course now I got water all over this down here. So anyway, let me clean this up and then we'll add more and see what happens. So full and no drips. So maybe we didn't need a professional after all. Anyway, now I gotta get this thing emptied out again without making too much of a mess, and then we can put it back on the tractor. I don't see anything else that's causing a problem unless I knock another hole in it when I'm messing around with it. So hopefully we don't do that. Okay, so it's back on. It's full. And it's not leaking. So, seems like we were mildly successful anyway, right? So yeah, mildly successful. Mildly successful, let's just call it that, I guess. So after a whole lot of solder, getting dumped out, dug out, and wasted, we got the thing to work again. It's been interesting to say the least, but it's sealed. It's back in the tractor where it belongs. So next most important part of this process would be to let it warm up and make sure it stays not leaking, right? Of course, then there's that too. Hopefully the one gentleman's not correct and I don't need to tear it down and put or flip the flywheel ring gear. But you know, hey, we got all 2 weeks. Okay, from where I was smoking with the carburetor, working on why it wouldn't run the other day, was running out of gas. Anyway, we'll let it run a while and see what happens. I think it will do. It's not leaking yet anyway. it's not leaking yet. So yeah, I think that part will do. I think we got it fixed. Only took half a day, but you know, it's not like I had anything better to do, right? Anyway, so now we can put it back together to where we had it and then go on about testing other things. So yeah, stick around until tomorrow, and or should say come back again tomorrow, and we'll get this thing on a bush hog or something and see what happens here. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't let the COVID get you. I'm not letting it get me. So we're gonna go for a ride and see what happens.